Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English News Edition brought to you live from RTD channel. The headlines for tonight are: the head of state, Ismail Margile, sent today a message of condolence to his Kenyan counterpart, Uhuru Kenyatta, following a failure of a dam that left 47 deaths and the closing activities of the specialty caravan in Sankala. And on the international scene, Palestinian kills as thousands take part in the weekly Gaza protest. Those were tonight's top stories. Thanks for joining us live on RTD channel. And as I mentioned the headlines, the head of state, Ismail Margile, sent today a message of condolence to the Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta following the disaster of a dam failure in the night of yesterday, which has caused the deaths of at least 45 people and as many missing. The head of state, Ismail Margile, did not fail to express in his message to his Kenyan counterpart and to the Kenyan people all his sadness and compassion in these painful circumstances, assuring him to share his grief and those of the families bereaved by this tragedy. I wish to express my deep sorrow, that of my government, as well to the people of Djibouti, for all the victims of the outrage. My thoughts and prayers are with the victims of these terrible atrocities, has finally concluded the head of state, Ismail Margile. Burst dam kills dozens of women and children in Kenya. At least 47 people have been killed and hundreds of homes have been swept away after a dam burst in southern Kenya's Rift Valley. Hinda Ibrahim tells us more.
The rumble at about 8 p.m. on Wednesday sounded like a faint clap of thunder. A little child stepped out of his single-room house at another village in Saleh, Nakuru, to check what was happening, as the sky had been clear just a few minutes earlier. Then he heard the rumble louder and ominous. Did not sound like the usually cacophony of rain drops on the greenhouses of Petele coffee estates behind the hills. This was a strange rumble, and it was shaking the soft air under his feet. The village arrived in chaos as the 41-year-old man and his neighbor ran for their life. Some towers saw a shopping center, others in the opposite direction.
The national news now, after his visit to Asaila, it was in the locality of Sanka this time that the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Mokiye, went to participate in the official closing ceremony of the activities of the medical surgical caravan that was launched on last May the 2nd in the regions of Dakhil. Indeed, the Minister of Health moved on last Wednesday with the Secretary of State for Social Affairs, Muna Osman Aden, as well the Minister of Equipment, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Helem. On their arrival, the Minister of Health and his delegation were welcomed by the Prefect of the region, Mohammed Shekho, and as well the President of the Regional Council, Abdurrahman Yunisari, as well as the village chief of Sankal, Mahmoud Robli. The inhabitants of this locality and its surrounding areas flocked in droves, reserving a warm welcome to the ministerial delegation, which had a great time in a memorable crowd. This closing ceremony took place in the presence of local elected officials, the traditional chief, as well as the notables of the Sankal locality. Men, women, children, there were more than thousands of whom some made the trip for the surrounding locality to receive with all the honors the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Mokiye, and his delegation that accompanied him. Folk songs and dances marked the ceremony, an explicit and spontaneous way for these inhabitants of Sankal to express their full satisfaction with this mission of caravan that has treated and consulted nearly 3,000 patients within a week. In his intervention, the head of the village of Sankal, Mahmoud Roble, did not fail to thank in the first place the head of state, Ismail Margile, who initiated such an activity of a caravan in the regions of the interior, in particular in the locality of Sankal. The representative of the World Bank, Atu Useg, took the floor to thank the crowd for this extraordinary welcome, who went on to announce the availability of the World Bank to support the Ministry of Health programs, in particular in the area of nutrition. And finally, Atu Useg did not fail to congratulate the Health Minister for this medical surgical caravan in the remote areas, Sankal locality. The State Secretary for Social Affairs, Mrs. Samuna Osman Aden, expressed her satisfaction with the work done by this medical caravan, which has fulfilled its goal of bringing quality care closer to its citizens. In her speech, the Secretary of State for Social Affairs, Mrs. Samuna Osman Aden, reiterated the permanent commitment of her department alongside the Ministry of Health to lead and sustain these types of initiative of the health caravan. And she finally thanked the Sankal inhabitants for the warm welcome and congratulated the health minister as well his team for their remarkable work. The Minister of Equipment and Transport, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa, for his part expressed his gratitude to the people of Sankal for their culture of hospitality and their sense of sharing. The Minister listed all the effort put in place by the head of state to strengthen the resilience and resilience of the village of Sankal. In his speech, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jami Al-Mulkiye, did not fail to recall the objective of this outreach strategy, which through the medical as well as surgical caravans aims to ensure the effectiveness of universal health coverage to bring care and specialized services at the highest level closer to the population in the regions. As such, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jami Al-Mulkiye, said that these periodic missions of medical caravan expressly respond to the instruction of the head of state, Ismail Margili, who has set as a priority the merger of quality care and specialized services as close as possible to the people of Djibouti, wherever they are. And after his speech, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jami Al-Mulkiye, proceeded to hand over batches of 10,000 impregnated mosquito nets, blanket, dates, and food for 200 most vulnerable households that were handed over to the head of the village. He said these food donations are timely in the run-up to the blessed month of Ramadan. Thereafter, the Minister of Health, Jamal Moukiye, and his delegation visited the consultation rooms in order to see together the progress of the activities of the medical and surgical caravan that continue at the Sankal locality. Let's recall that since May 2, several medical specialties and paramedics have stayed in this locality to provide to the residents of Sankal specialized care such as stomatology, ENT, ophthalmology, cardiology, as well as dermatology. And at the end, Dr. Jami Al-Mulkiye went to meet the wise and notables of this locality of Sankal. The meeting, which was held in the shade of a jujube tree, and discussion between the Minister of Health and the locals focused on various issues of concern to the people of Sankal. Let's note the presence of several personalities, including the Secretary of State for Social Affairs, the Prefect of the region, the President of the Regional Council. In turn, several locals took the floor to explain the needs of the village and to express a grievance in the name of the general interest. After listening to all the grievances, the Minister of Health, Dr. Jamal Moukiye, did not fail to thank in turn the locals for having responded to many to his calls. He also conveyed his thanks to all the people of Sankal for the warm welcome he received. Finally, Dr. Jamal Moukiye told the locals that he took good note of all the complaints made while promising to convey them and share them with all the members of the government concerned. At the end of the meeting, Sankal residents handed over 50 kits to the President of the Republic, Ismail Mogili, and to the First Lady, Mrs. Khadra Mahmoud Haid. And still with the national news, in a statement, the Minister of Muslim Affairs, Culture and Waqf, Mumin Hassan Barri, conducted an inspection tour in the district of the city of Djibouti, where the pre-registration operation of people wanted to perform the Great pilgrimage of the Holy Mecca take place. The novelty of this year is the introduction for the first time of the electronic system to sort and dismiss directly those who have already completed the Hajj in the last 5 years from 2013 till 2017. In his statement to the national television, the Minister of Muslim Affairs, Culture and Waqf did not fail to express that his department has made the necessary arrangement to pass the first phase of registration. The minister gives other people the chance to go to the Mecca. Only those who met the required condition can be registered during this period, which runs from May the 2nd to 10th of this month. And pursuing his statement, the minister said that the novelty for this year is the introduction for the first time of the electronic system to sort and remove directly those who have already completed the Hajj in the last 5 years from 2013 till 2017, according to the Ministry of Muslim Affairs, Culture and Waqf, Mumin Hassan Barri. The Ministry of Muslim Affairs informs the people registered to perform the pilgrimage that all measures have been taken to optimize the organization of the Hajj and to ensure the pilgrims the best condition for fulfilling this religious duty. And after the pre-registration operation, a random draw will be held live on the national television RTD to select the future pilgrims in 2018 whose listed will be posted in the borough and at the level of the riders, chief town, as well the interior regions. Another news now, a closing ceremony for the end of entrepreneurship training begins on last 8 May 2018 at the Iskaru by the State Secretary for Social Affairs in partnership with the International Migration Organization. This Thursday took place the certificate ceremony for young beneficiaries from the interior regions such as Dakhil, Ubakh, as well as Tajawwa. The ceremony saw the participation of the State Secretary for Social Affairs, Mona Aden Osman, as well the senior executive of the department, the chief of mission of the IOM, Lalini Verasimi, the director of the Iskaru, Shukri Abdullahi Mohammed, as well the trainers of this training. This training program is part of the project empowering local youth and integrating young refugees. Indeed, this high-level training, of which 40 young people of Djiboutian nationality from the interior regions have been selected, it aims to strengthen the socio-economic integration of our regions. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, yesterday presided over the official closing ceremony of the National Challenge, a school sport tournament of the 2017-2018 school year at the Al-Sabih Stadium. The ceremony was attended by several personalities, including the Minister of Labor in charge of the reform of the administration, Hassan Idris Samri, the Prefect of the region, as well the President of the regions, Mohammed Wabiri Asowi and Omar Ahmed Wais. The senior executives and main FOP leaders took part in the ceremony, which mobilized nearly 1,000 students from all medium as well high school in the country. Then the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, and the rest of the officials presented the trophies and medals to the winners and the unfortunate finalists in the final round of the National Challenge tournament. The opportunity for the Minister of National Education to pay a vibrant tribute to the city of Al-Sabih, who has demonstrated with force and pride that it has deservedly earned the title of School Sports Capital for the year 2018 awarded to him. More generally, the Minister has emphasized the spirit of fair play, fraternity, citizenship, tolerance, as well as friendship as values that constitute the bedrock of living together, as well as the national cohesion. Values assures and duly defended by the head of state Ismail Margili, who has always shared with our cultural as well linguistic diversity to preserve peace, unity, as well fraternity. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud has finally reiterated his commitment to develop sport in school so that our children, these future citizens, can fully develop and in a good health. Let's bear in mind that for the second time in a row, Djibouti has qualified for the final of the Arab Champions Club Cup at the expense of Somalia Wednesday in the afternoon at the Hassan Guled Stadium. The team of Djibouti Telecom, the torchbearer of the nation as part of the Cup of Champions Club countries of the Arab League, played its second qualifier against Comoros, a team that has already lost 3 times in front of Somalia team. And as part of the U13 Football World Championship in France, Djibouti represents East Africa, and this is the first time that East Africa has qualified for the international events. So Djibouti honors all African on the international scene. In the day of Thursday, May 10, the World Championship began with the presentation of the teams. The Djiboutian flag has floated very well on the land of Britain in France. And as part of the fight against the smuggling of contraband goods, the Inter-Army Battalion of the Al-Sabih region, known as BIAS, have made important seizure of contraband goods. The contraband is made up of cigarette cartons, Benson, as well as Royal brand and cartons of drugs. These products are used in bodybuilding and pharmaceutical drugs that are smuggled from Somalia. The traffickers wanting to smuggle these goods to Al-Sabih. The head of the corps of the army BIAS, Colonel Abdul Wasah bin Mohammed, warns all the people who will engage in the crimes of this kind, which are detrimental to the development of the national economy. In this obituary, we have learned with the great sadness the death of Lieutenant Momin Ali Aden of the Djiboutian Army, born in 1974 in Dakhil. He went to primary school until high school in the capital, and he joined in the army in 1991. From 1991 to 1999, he was on a military mission to the United Arab Emirates. He was one of the stronger personalities of the Air Force of Djibouti. We pray the Almighty to welcome him in its eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. On the international scene now, Palestinians killed as thousands take part in the weekly Gaza protest. Thousands of Palestinians were taking part Friday in a protest along a Gaza report.
Palestinians are heading toward the final stages of what they call the Great March of Return. Hunters are moving toward the fence that separates Gaza from Israel and has been the scene of violence clashes in recent weeks. No, there can be violence, and there has been in the past, but it is going to be nothing compared to next week's main event.
So that's it for the news. Thanks for your attention.